welcome to a mindful movement class with myself. This class focuses on reducing stress and anxiety by switching on the parasympathetic nervous system. Why don't you come and join me on the mat? Come lying down onto your back with your knees bent, feet about a distance apart. You can have your arms lying beside you, palms facing up or down, whatever feels better to you. Or maybe place your hands on your belly if that feels right to you right now. I like to have my hands on my belly. It allows you to really connect with your physical body and your breath. And we'll just take a few moments here, arriving on our mats, allowing ourselves to settle down. You might want to close your eyes. Just taking a few moments here, noticing how we're feeling. Is your mind very switched on right now, or are you already feeling quite relaxed? If you feel like you have thousands of thoughts running and cursing through your head, are you able to try to let them go? And this might not happen immediately, but hopefully throughout the class today, they will stop disturbing you bit by bit. And just notice your body. Can you make out if there's any tensions anywhere? I invite you to do a quick body scan just to notice if there are any tensions in your body that are hiding from your consciousness. Sometimes we're not aware that actually we're really stiff somewhere or holding a lot of tension. And as you do this body scan, whenever you notice a tension, can you relax that part of your body? Sometimes it can help to tensen a body part that is tense, tensen it even more, and then relax, let go. To really feel that difference between when it's tense, stiff, and when it's relaxed. Once you've completed your body scan, start to notice your breath. There's no need to change anything about your breath. Just breathe as you do. What is the quality of your breath right now? Just noticing, just observing really. And then start to count how long it takes you to inhale and exhale. Again, not modifying anything yet. Just count how long it takes you to inhale. How long does it take you to exhale? And then I invite you to try to lengthen your exhale by 1 or 2 counts. So if my inhale is 3 counts at the moment, I'm going to try to extend my exhale to 4 or 5 counts. And then just start to breathe normally again. And before we all start to fall asleep, because already just lying here and not doing anything feels so good, we'll start to bring a bit of movement into our bodies again. If you have your hands on your belly, for example, just place them next to your body for the moment. And just slowly roll your head a little bit to the right, not all the way, just a little bit, and then tip it over to the left. Make this a very slow and controlled movement. Just bringing this little bit of movement into your head. And then pause again in neutral, relaxing. Now we'll take our left leg, our left knee, towards our chest. So wrap your hands around your knee and just let gravity do its job for the moment. No need to apply any pressure. Just see how gravity brings that knee a little bit closer to you, perhaps, bit by bit. And then starting to take a bit of a more active role in this movement. Drop your knee as far as it wants to come towards your chest, and then lift your knee away from your chest just a little bit. And continue this movement, your knee rising up and your knee dropping back down towards your chest. So this creates also movement in your arms extending as your knee moves away from your chest, and your arms bending slightly as your knee comes forward. And see if you can incorporate your breath in this movement. See if your movement can follow your breath. I like to inhale as my knee travels away from my chest. Exhale as my knee comes towards me. The next time your knee is towards your chest, as you take your knee out again, away from your chest, create a bit of resistance with your hands. So your knee has to push a little bit to move away from your chest. But then as the knee travels back down, that resistance disappears. And then again, create resistance with your hands as the knee moves away from your chest. And then drop the knee back down towards your chest. Continue with this movement a few more times. next time your knee is towards your chest, you can let go of that knee, guide it back down to the floor, and then extend both legs long for a moment here. And just notice, how are the two halves of your body feeling? Do they feel any different from each other? How would you describe what the side of your body that you were just moving feels like compared to the other one? We'll bend our knees again now, and we'll take it to the other side. So take your right knee towards your chest, and again we'll start off by just gently moving our knee towards our chest and away from our chest. Is your breath guiding your movement? Every time a thought comes, try to just focus again on the present moment, on the movements you're doing, feeling into your body. And then when you're ready, we can start playing with that resistance again. So as your knee travels away from your chest, create that resistance with your hands. And then let go again as your knee comes towards your chest. When you feel like you have done an equal amount of exercise on this other side, can't call it exercise, then you can let go again of that knee, and again take both legs out wide, extending your whole self, and just noticing again, how are the two halves of your body feeling? Do they feel united? How are you feeling? Then we'll bend our knees again. Here you have the option now to shake it out if you feel like it, or to give yourself a good stretch. So just taking a few moments here to do any movements that your body is asking you to do. If that is just lying still, that's fine too. When you're ready, you can roll to one side and then bring yourself up and we'll meet on all fours. Oh, my hair is in the way. Maybe yours too. On all fours and tabletop, we'll see if we can have a nice alignment by aligning our wrists with our shoulders, our knees with our hips, but it doesn't have to be perfect as long as you feel good in your body and stable. Try to have a micro bend in your elbows so that you don't hyperextend your elbows. If you're feeling energetic now, you could do all sorts of energizing things, but we'll keep this a restorative and calm class, keeping it quite minimal with regards to the kinds of movements that we're taking today. So you're probably familiar with various things we can do in tabletop, including just circling around on our wrists for a few moments here. So I've already started doing this, going one direction, just circling around. And then going the other direction. Coming back to stillness and tabletop. We'll take a few cat-cows here. So inhale, extending your spine, gazing up just a little bit. Exhaling, rounding your back, gazing down. And continuing, following your own breath. Ensure that as you inhale, gazing up, that you don't hyperextend your neck and don't push your butt up too much. That's no good. So keep this movement minimal. Sensing into your spine, feeling those vertebrae, feeling those joints moving. And then I invite you, if you feel like it, you can be playful and creative here. Moving your spine in all sorts of directions. This is a non-weight bearing position to be in which your spine can do all sorts of amazing things. And we'll meet back in tabletop. I'm giving up on taking my hair out of my face. And then extend your right leg, toes on the ground, on your mat. And just wiggle your heel from side to side, massaging your toes if you want. A few times. Lifting your toes up, giving your leg a shake. Shake, shake, shake the thing. And then finding stillness again. And then move your leg a little bit to the right side. Doesn't have to be super far, whatever feels comfortable. Inhale, lift your right hand up and take that right arm up into the sky. And again, no need to overdo it. You don't have to go all the way to the back. Okay, just keep the twist relatively small. Taking a few breaths here. On your next exhale, coming back down. Swing that right leg back to its tabletop position. And then push yourself back into Balasana, to child's pose for a moment. You can bring your forehead to the floor if you like, or onto your hands, or onto a block if you have one, if you're not that flexible. whatever is the most comfortable to you. And we're just pausing here for a few moments again between different positions. Giving our wrists a little break. And then extend your arms again if they're no longer extended. Push yourself back up into tabletop. We'll bring it to the other side now. So extend your left leg. You're on your toes here. And again, swivel that heel from side to side a few times. And then lift those toes up and give your leg a shake. Do you have that when you hear a word that you know from a song, you just have that song stuck in your head after saying that word? Like, shake always reminds me of shake that thing, shake that thing. Anyway, moving back into yoga, taking that left leg out to the side. I can't move very far here because I've positioned myself very close to the wall, so I'm just going to move further off my mat. And here, taking a few breaths. And your next inhale, opening up to the side. And then when you exhale again, taking it back down, moving your left leg back into its tabletop position. Excellent. We'll take a few more cat-cows here. So inhaling, extending your spine. Exhaling, rounding your back. Really feel your breath moving you through these movements. And we'll meet back in tabletop. And we'll just come onto the floor now. So transition yourself onto your belly. Place your hands under your forehead. Settling down in this new way of being on the ground. And then bend your right knee. And just start drawing circles with your foot. And then the other direction. And then pause, your knees still bent. And then push your right knee into your mat. Your right hip will come up slightly. And then push your right hip into the floor, into your mat. And you'll notice that your right knee is now coming off the floor slightly. And keep moving like this. Knee pushes into the ground, hip comes up a bit. And then hip pushes into the ground, knee comes up a little bit. And again, see if your breath can guide this movement. For me, I exhale as my knee pushes up. I inhale as my knee pushes down. Sorry, I exhale as my hip pushes down. And I inhale as my knee pushes down.
Exhale, hip pushes down, knee comes up. Inhale, knee pushes down, hip comes up. When you become a yoga teacher, you start to realize it's really hard to describe things or describe movements. Or maybe it's just me. And the next time your hip is up, place your hip back down and relax your foot back to the floor. And we'll bring it to the other side now. So lift your left foot into the air, knees bent now, circling your foot in one direction. And then the other direction. And then pausing. And again here, push your knee into the ground. And then push your hip into the ground. Notice how your glutes are working here or not working. If you pay attention, you'll notice that when your hip pushes into the floor, your glutes are really switched on. And then when it switches to the knee pushing into the floor, your glutes switch off and relax. This can be a really nice movement for those who have their glutes switched on a lot of the time, or those of us who sit a lot and don't use their glutes enough to learn how to activate them again, to help our brain figure out what it feels like when our glutes are activated. Following your breath again. And by following our breath, it also allows us to slow down, slow our movements down. A lot of us like to do movements really fast because we feel like that's better, but slow can be so much more effective. And vice versa, we can also slow down our breath by slowing down our movement. And then relax that leg again, placing your foot back onto the floor, legs extended, and just relax here for a few moments. Noticing how you're feeling physically, mentally. And when we're ready, we're going to come and transition back to our backs, back to lying on our back. Come back into restorative rest pose, knees bent, feet on the floor. I always automatically place my hands sort of on my hips or my belly. You may automatically place them somewhere else, it's okay. And then just take your arms into a cactus shape if that's comfortable. If you're like, oh, this feels odd, then you can just take them into a T shape. If only there was no wall. So I'll keep mine in the cactus shape here. And then take your feet a bit further out, maybe towards the edges of your mat. And then very slowly move your knees towards the left side. By the way, if I say left or right, you can always choose to do the other side. I'm just saying it so that things make a bit more sense. rather than me saying that leg that is up there, I'll say the left leg. Oh, yeah. So taking your knees to the left side and then start to gaze towards the right. And your knees don't have to come all the way down, they don't have to come very far at all, just coming into a bit of a twist here. And then taking the knees to the other side and then looking the opposite direction. And then you can try to synchronize that movement with your breath again. I like to exhale as I come into the twist. Inhale as I come out of it. And then exhale again as I come back into the twist on the other side. And we'll meet back in stillness, knees facing up. Take any last movements you're aching for, wiggling around, rolling around. Stretching perhaps. When you're ready, we'll meet in shavasana. If you have blankets around you, you might want to cuddle up with them to make sure that you stay warm in shavasana. And your shavasana can look whatever you want it to look like. You can extend your legs long, come into a more classic shavasana. You can keep the knees bent if it's more comfortable. You can take your feet a bit further out so that your knees can come together to relax your legs. I invite you to close your eyes if they're not already closed. And you might want to do another body check, body scan now, just like we did at the beginning. Just noticing if you feel any different, if your body feels any different. But also noticing if your mind feels any different. Relaxing any parts of your body that are stiff for some reason. Relaxing any parts of your body that feel stiff. Allowing yourself to let go, to be present to yourself. Let the thoughts come and let them pass by. Be an observer. You don't have to actively take part in everything your head throws at you. Sometimes it's just not the right time. And right now, this time is for you to relax, for you to be present and mindful of yourself and for yourself. Before I'm going to fall asleep in front of the camera, I'm going to say thank you for joining me. You're welcome to stay in shavasana for a little longer or until tomorrow morning. Thank you for joining me and have a pleasant evening.